Hi students, welcome to week 2. Let's talk about chapter 3 now and have an overview of this whole planning process and the management process that is in place within the retail industries. Let's start with talking a little bit about the mission statement. So there's an old saying, if you don't know where you're going, you won't get there. And the mission statement is a thing that is put down on paper or on a computer that is a statement that describes what we're doing as a business. So why are we in business and what do we do? And it's very important because it usually is something that drives everything else that's done. And it should be really known and valued by the employees. You know, if we're in business to provide the very best car from Sweden in the world, then we should all understand that, right? Not just a few people, but everybody should understand that that's working for the company. Related to the mission statement is the vision statement, and this is the thing that's telling us about what the future goals are for the organization. In this case, it is something where we're talking about what is going to happen in the future, what we want to happen in the future. And it's maybe something you could say why we're doing what we're doing. It is the way that we pursue our daily work when we're working for an institution like a retailer. And it gives us information so that it helps us to make policy decisions and we can understand where we need to be going next. Everybody in the organization should understand and be aligned with the vision statement. It can be inspirational and it can give people a understanding and hope for the future. And it also helps us to be able to articulate and understand and explain what values are we have as an organization. Objectives. This is something where we're actually talking about not just the mission and the vision, but now we're looking at the specific goals in a specific given period of time that we're going to be trying to achieve. And the mission and vision drive that. It should be something that's measurable always, quantifiable, numbers attached to it, realistic, not just something made up, and deadline oriented, so it's going to happen at a certain point in time. Situation analysis, you're scanning, you're looking what's going on around us in the environment. And in this case, we're going to be able to say what happened in the past, where we are right now, what the products are, how the sales have been over the time, and who are our target market to be. And all of these things would be involved in situational analysis. This particular picture, which is in the textbook, I thought was kind of interesting because it sort of shows about if I'm a manager, I'm looking at what's going on internally inside of the organization. I look at what's happening in the task or mediating environment, the markets, competitors, marketing, intermediaries, all that sort of stuff. And then the macro environment, socially, governmentally, technologically, economically, naturally. And this helps us to be able to see where we need to be maybe in a few years. So we're going to try to use where we're at by scanning what's happening around us, and we're going to sort of take that into the future. This is where we need to be. This is what we need to do to get where we need to be. Strategy. So I've got some kind of framework for what I'm doing now, what I'm going to do in the future. I'm going to look at what kind of objectives I'm going to have in the future, and I'm going to be looking at things like how do I integrate everything together so that my retail sales is being done in such a way that it fits with everything else the company's doing as a whole. I want to be dynamic, meaning I want to change when things change. I want to be able to change. I want to think strategically, not just react, but actually think about how I want to be proactive. And I want to create and control the future, not just surf it. I want to be able to try to create the future, try to control it to whatever degree I can. Target market, who am I going to be selling to? Who am I aiming my marketing efforts at? Then I decide if I want to go over the whole market or just a part of the market, and I segment that market. I break it down to little pieces, and I say, this is the piece, this is the piece, this is the piece, the others I don't want to attack. So that would be an example of segmentation. Mass marketing would be I'm going to go after the entire market, segmented, I break it up, and I say I only can really serve these people, I can't serve everybody. I might want to say, am I going to have a lot of stores, or am I going to have no stores? Am I going to be exclusively online, or kind of a combination of the both? Financial, preparing statements, allocating resources, that's budgeting, managing my assets, the machines and things I have to do things with, pay, bills, collect accounts, all those sort of things. And it has to be integrated with what else I'm doing. Merchandising, it overlaps with a lot of other areas, and it has to do with being consistent. How am I going to move things around with my supply chain? How am I going to utilize my decisions, what I'm going to sell with, who I'm going to buy from to be able to sell it? So which suppliers am I going to use? What kind of products am I going to go after? And how am I going to stock, and when am I going to stock, and how am I going to mark those things? Human resource, I got to have the right people. I want to hire them, fire them. Not the right people. I don't want to fire them. I want to hire the right people, not at the fire them, but I want to fire the wrong people. I want them to be trained properly. I want them all to be working towards the same goals. I want them to be happy and satisfied. I want my employees to be happy. I want them to achieve objectives that we have as an organization and in their personal lives. Tactics. So day to day, what do I do? Pricing, communicating, serving my customers. And then these can be used as ways of differentiating myself from others. I may do a better job of these things. I want to be consistent though on how I'm doing it with other areas. And I want to have some kind of objectives and strategy for this area as well. Pricing, what are we going to make people pay for something? How are we going to meet those objectives? What are the sales going to be? What are the profits going to be? What's the return on investment going to be? So when we talk about integrated marketing communication, we're talking about all these different aspects of communication that have to do with marketing that work together. So we're talking about public relations, the publicity that goes along with that, direct marketing, I send you something, you respond to that, cyber marketing, I'm doing social media or whatever online, I'm doing personal selling, I have people in the store that are actually coming up to you and helping you with being able to buy. I have sales promotion where I send you a coupon. I have advertising where I'm putting something up that on a billboard or online that you can see and you say, I want to buy that. So these are examples of integrated marketing communication. I hope this brief outline has helped you with this week's particular couple of chapters of retail.